Welcome back, YouTube. I am the hero that Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs. Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back. Good day to be here. I'm putting this video up because, needless to say, I'm in a pretty good mood. I made the trek down to the Burnsville, Minnesota regional on Saturday. 184 people showed up for that, so we had 8 rounds of Swiss. I managed to go undefeated with my deck. I've never done that before. I've made top 8 plenty of times, but I've never went undefeated, and I also won my top 8 match, so I ended up in first place, which feels absolutely awesome. So what I'd like to do now is go ahead and give you guys a deck profile, also explain some of the matchups that I had, and some key plays that I made in those matchups, and give you guys a breakdown of the side deck as well as the extra deck on that too. So here you guys go. 3 Gravekeeper's Commandant, 3 Gravekeeper's Descendant, 3 Gravekeeper's Spy, 3 Gravekeeper's Recruiter, and 2 Gravekeeper's Assailant, 14 monsters, 3 Pot of Duality, 3 Necro Valley, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Gravekeeper's Stele, 2 Royal Tribute, and Dark Hole, 13 spells, 2 Solemn Warning, 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Seven Tools of the Bandit, 2 Dimensional Prison, Torrential Tribute, Mirror Force, Solemn Judgment, Royal Oppression, Deck Devastation Virus, 13 Traps, 2 Cyber Dragon, 2 Thunder King Ryo, 2 Kinetic Soldier, 2 Effect Veiler, 2 Gozen Match, 2 Rivalry of Warlord, 2 Chain Disappearance, and Deck Devastation Virus. One Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Scrap Dragon, 2 Stardust Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Arcanite Magician, Ally of Justice Catastor, Armory Arm, and 2 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. This is my hedgehog. Hello again. I'd like to go ahead and give you guys a bit of an idea of the matchups that I played against, as well as some critical plays during my 8 rounds at the regional. First round I played against X-Sabers. Pretty straightforward match. Kept Necro Valley on the board the whole game. A key Royal Tribute play really set my tempo for the rest of the games. Or I should say game 1. Poked away at my opponent's life points until he was gone. Game 2, pretty much the same thing. A key 7 tools on his Solemn Judgment set me ahead in life points and also helped me control that match. Round 2, I played against Quick Draw Plants. Another game where Necro Valley was really big, keeping debris from pulling off his shenanigans, keeping Pot of Avarice, a dead card in my opponent's hand. Both games he showed me, he sat on 2 dead Pot of Avarices each round, or each game, which definitely helped. Round 3, I played against Vayu Turbo. Very surprised to see this deck doing well, or at least 2-0 at this point. Necker Valley was another huge card in this game. Just allowed me to keep him from using Vayu in the graveyard, as well as setting up other big plays for him. Round 4 was against Machina. Game 1, I got absolutely demolished by my opponent. I couldn't stop his fortresses from running over everything of mine, and he won that one pretty fast. Second and third game, Cyber Dragons came in, Thunder Kings came in. Just allowed me to control his tempo and stop him from, controlling the board. Cyber Dragon, definitely a key card in that matchup, only because I was able to get a 3000 Chimera Tech off once during each of those games. So definitely helped there. Round 5 against Infernities. Really surprised to see this deck doing that well round 5. Only because there were a lot of Gravekeepers, and I expected this deck to have a really rough matchup. My opponent did tell me before game 1 that he had beaten 2 other Gravekeepers prior to facing me, so I was a little bit worried. In game 1, he demolished me. I had a really good setup, but he had Giant Trunade, went off, set his barriers, and I couldn't come back from that. Game 2 and 3, he didn't draw into Trunade or an MST, so my Necker Valley stayed on the board long enough to allow me to poke through damage and win that one. Round 6, I went up against Russell Rothman, playing Karakuri Machina Plants, KMP as they call it now. A good friend of mine, he did scoop to me this round only because I had built him the deck off of his deck list, and I paid for him to enter into it. So props to you, Russell. Thanks again for scooping that one. We did play it out for fun, and he beat me 2-0, so there is a good possibility that would have been my first loss. Round 7, I went up against Junk Synchron Doppel Plants. Not sure what the deck's going to be called once it gets a good foothold. Game 1, I kept Necker Valley out there, did its work. Game 2, didn't draw on any of my sideboard cards, so he was able to control the pace and plus that one. Game 3, Gozen Match actually came into play. Was a huge card in stopping a lot of his combos from going off, so love that card. That card is amazing. In round 8, I played against Chaos. Straight Chaos, no plants, no quick draw, no light sworn engine, no shenanigans there. In game 1, I won pretty straightforward. Game 2, I got Consecrated Light locked. Couldn't get my Descendant or my Commanded out there to beat it down. Just got outplayed. And then third game actually went to time. I was able to poke through damage first, and that allowed me to win that one. So that was 8th round there. And then my top 8 matchup, I played against Frognarks, Tyler. Game 1, I opened with the Absolute Nuts. Had Necker Valley Royal Tribute, set a Spy, knocked 4 Monarchs out of his hand, and he was sitting on a Giant Trunade. Next turn he drew into Swap Frog, summoned it, I saw the Morning Dit, and that was the end of that. So, and then game 2, I wasn't able to get a really good setup. He Nobleman of Extermination by Torrential and dropped Caius on my Recruiter. Just rolled me that game. And then game 3, I drew into just some really good cards, Solemn Warning, Effect Veiler, just things to slow his combos down, and Chain Disappearance to his Treeborn Frog, which gave me the win there. So there you guys have it. Those were my matchups. Did fairly well. Only went to game 3 a couple times during the day. And there you go.